Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of WeritCast. Today we're going to try something a little different. I tend to play a lot of strategy games, but don't always post about them. I find it difficult to really make a decent post since they can take a long time to play and require a lot of screenshots and other problems that arise with writing about strategy games. I mean, they could take 20, 30, 40 hours. That's a lot of blog posts. So what I wanted to try to do was put it to a video. Now, I'm not really doing a let's play. Instead, I want to make an after action report, but make it a video instead of a post. So we'll see how this goes. It's really just an experiment, and I'd like to know what you think. If you find them interesting to watch and listen to, let me know. Right now, my strategy game of choice is Europa Universalis 3, which we're taking a look at right now. The game starts you off in 1399, and you can choose pretty much any country on Earth at that time to play. For this playthrough, I have chosen Venice. Venice offers some interesting possibilities because it's basically an island nation. It has some European holdings, it has a big navy, and it hosts a center of trade, which means it has a nice income too. So I can try to make an empire, I can try to colonize, I can do all sorts of different things. In this playthrough, I am going to try to make the Venetian Dominion. Basically, I want to collect myself a lot of vassals through peaceful and non-peaceful means, and then grow my economy so I'm the richest country in the world. So that's what we're going to try to do. As you can see, Venice does not start out with much. I have Venice itself, Albania, Athens, and Treviso, along with a couple of vassals in Corfu and Naxos. It's a small start, but I have enough to work with so I can expand when the opportunity presents itself. Since the game is just starting, I have an opportunity to change my sliders here. There are a bunch of options I could choose from that affect the military, the government, and other things. I'm going to go with moving my slider closer to mercantilism. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, so I apologize. But basically, the idea is I want to be an economic powerhouse, and I have a center of trade in Venetia. So the closer I get to mercantilism, the more money I can make from my own center of trade as opposed to sending merchants to others. So I want to get as many countries trading at my center of trade as possible, which is one of the goals of having a bunch of vassals and then getting them in my own trade league and just keep expanding, making myself richer and richer. Next up, it's time to set the budget. I'm mainly concentrating on government and trade technology to start with because government will allow me to select a new national idea, which could include things like colonizing New World and other important bonuses. Technology such as land, I've lowered because I am going to eventually leave all the fighting up to my vassals. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it works. And now let's take a look at one of Venice's most important assets, its navy. 13 ships strong to start. It doesn't have any big ships yet, but it is very important to keeping Venice safe. See, in EU3, Venice is an island. And when Allied ships are in the Gulf of Venice, nobody from the mainland Europe is able to travel into Venice. So invading armies can't touch my capital as long as I have a strong naval presence in the Gulf. This is very handy against countries such as Austria, Hungary, France, and other of the big powerhouses. So just as I was about to put my expansion plans into effect, this happened. Apparently Byzantium declared war on Archaea, which is in my sphere of influence. Now, whenever anyone does that, it gives me a free casus belli to attack them. I hope I pronounced that right. Anyway, If I could vassalize Byzantium, that'd be huge because I get a good chunk of their income, and they do provide some nice income. So this is probably going to be the first war for me. We'll see how it goes. I first have to get there and probably fight off the invaders. I actually arrived just in time to see their troops being loaded onto the shores, and a big naval battle started. I have the numbers advantage 2-1 and ended up defeating them pretty easily, but they did get their troops ashore, which is definitely going to cause problems later. With the naval battle won, that leaves their capital pretty much undefended with their troops currently sieging my allies' territory. So I unloaded my 3 divisions into Thrace to lay siege to Byzantium. Hopefully I can take the city before I lose too much elsewhere. And here was my first mistake. I probably should have helped my allies instead of sieging Byzantium right away, because one of them surrendered and was annexed. So that means their army's free to attack some more of my allies like Naxos. I really need to get this siege over with quickly, or I'm going to lose some more allies. Now things have gotten really interesting. Milan decided to declare war on me for no particular reason, and they were allied with Austria, so now I'm at war with both them and Byzantium. I had to rush my navy back to the Gulf of Venice to make sure that no forces could land on my capital. They're currently seizing Treviso, which is not a big deal. They'll take it, but that's all they'll be able to do. And since Austria's landlocked and doesn't have a navy, I don't worry about that. Milan doesn't have much of a navy either, so I don't have to worry about them breaking my little blockade in the Gulf of Venice. But now I have war on 2 fronts. So it seems like a good place to stop it. I don't want to make these things too long. Check back soon for part 2.